Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Pool 1 of GTSA, Round 6 at Sardegna Beast Circuit Layout. Hope everyone's doing well. We should be going into qualifying shortly, or they are. No, they haven't started qualifying, it doesn't look like. Looks like they're busy resetting now. Whew, so just managed to make it in time. Finished Pool 2. Terrible race. Taken out on lap 2 and then spent the whole race chasing people. I need to spin with 3 to go. But let's see what happens here. I think we're going to have a good battle tonight. Levi, Kalen, we've got VSR Richard here, Hollywood, Branavane, a lot of the big guns. Yasteel and Fluffy Butt, Mr. DNG. So yeah, let's see how this goes. They're just busy resetting the room. If any of my regular co-commentators want to come join me, please feel free to. I'm going to quickly make myself some coffee. The guys are coming around on their first flying laps now. Sorry, they're out lap, about to start their first flying lap. We've got Branavane, first car out, Levi in second, SMP3 Pro, C8 Henny, Guys Killer Pace, Yasteel, Richard, Stignator's doing a strategy of having mediums on. There is enough time though that if you started on softs you could do your 2 laps, pit with 30-40 seconds to go, change and come back in. So we've got Richard, a very aggressive Marvel livery there, Ron, Chris in a very French Napoleon battle livery. Mr. Molose, nice to see you. My Citroen was very slow tonight, just like your Mini. Welcome to the chat. Everyone else say hi. Let me know who's speaking and watching. Tribs, Rub, Donnie, any of you guys want to come and join me, feel free. Involved with Fluffy Butt. We're going to go. Let's go see what the first laps coming around are going to be. So 125.2 from Branavane, 24 point something from Levi, So let the first bunch of guys do their first flying lap to the end, and then we'll run through the list and hopefully catch everyone on their second flying lap. Mr. Pumpkin has joined the chat, so we should be able to hear him this week after his settings were fixed last week. How's it, Donnie?
Good evening, everyone.
Melissa's stirring some coffee.
How did the race go for you, and what's happening here in pool 1?
Yeah. So we've currently got Levi on pole 24.9, Ghost Killer 25.0, S&P 25.0, Ruan 25.1, and Richard 25.2. They're all on their last flying lap now, so we're just going to ride through. I think Brunavain's going to be the first to come through. He did a 25.2, currently P6. Does he improve? He does. He goes up to 4th. Levi obviously stays first. He did a 24.4 there, so I don't know if anyone's going to get too close to that. 25.0 from Ghost Killer, 25.0 from S&P. Ron, Kalen, both in the 25s. So everyone's quickly jumping out to change their tyres. They only have another 14 seconds, so they need to do it quickly. We'll run through the grid once they're on the grid. My race, on lap 2, someone spun at the uphill hairpin, and then your teammate catfish straight into them. And
what did he do?
No, the car, I don't know if it was recovering or just lying across the road, but he drove into it, and I was on the outside, and it came straight into me and spun me around, and pretty much my race was done from lap 2. So Levi on pole, Ghost Killer, Ruan, Richard, S&P, Brunavain, Hollywood, Kalen, Chris, Henny, Yastiel, Stignator, OJ, and Fluffy Butt. That's our grid. We don't want to hear too much about my race, but I lost about 15 seconds, so I cooked my tyres trying to catch up, and most of the race I could see a pack of about 8 cars just in front, but they're about 7 seconds up the road. I managed to pass 1 or 2 of them, but then I had contact with one. We see what happens here.
Oh, we're off.
Good evening, guys.
Hey, Mr.
Good evening,
RDS.
Sean.
Welcome. How you doing?
Would be better if Pumpkin Patch don't take people out.
I was completely left. I don't know where you wanted to go there.
We got Ghost Killer and Ron having a great side-by-side here through the first couple of corners. I see JP saying he's defending himself. It was an unsafe rejoin. I actually wanted the host, that Pumpkin Patch really screwed me, because I had such a good start from 6 on the grid to P4, and then he restarted after I passed him. We got a little bit of a nudge there from S&P, but it's very tight in turn 1. S&P and Richard, from Ron, I think, and Ghost Killer previously, but we got side by side all the way through here. Guys are fighting possibly different tyre compounds. The 2nd, 3rd to 6th battle is crazy at the moment. You guys probably watching it now. So yeah, shout out to everyone in pool 2. It was good fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll be in pool 3 next week, so we can...
You had a big one right behind me.
When was that? Earlier or late?
That was early. Somebody spun off and you got caught in it.
Yeah, Catfish went right and I went left, like the normal line of the corner, because I saw the car wasn't on the track, but then while it was rolling forward, he drove straight into it and knocked it backwards. We've got some great battling here in the mid-pack. Chris and McGann, Henny, we've got Stignator. It's basically just chaos here, because we're racing in the other pools, and all the other pools are together at the same time. So that's just to answer Melissa asking why we don't stream all the pools. Running through, we're going to go to the front of the pack and look. We've got Levi currently on mediums. Just looking at it. Ghost Killer softs, Ruan softs, S&P soft, Richard soft, Hollywood on soft. He's busy fighting Brunavain, who was 2nd on the grid, but Brunavain's on mediums, so he's 5 seconds behind Levi on the same tyres, but he's getting beaten up here with the traffic. Chris is on soft. Stignator's on mediums in 9th place. Mediums for Yasteel, mediums for Henny. Hards for Fluffy Butt. OJ on softs, and then we're back to the front. There's only 14 drivers in this pool. So OJ on his softs is having a big fight with Kalen, who's now 14th on the mediums. I think Kalen ran a bit wide there on the last turn and picks up a half-second penalty. So what's your predictions, guys? Levi going to run away with this one?
So I think Levi is most likely going to run away with it. He might be under pressure from someone that started on the mediums or the hards. So what I found was, because of the close racing and the battling, if you start off on the slower tire, you actually gain a bit of an advantage because everybody's running slower, and you wouldn't be running faster anyway with a slower compound tire.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happened with Brunavane, who's now out of the top 8. Where's Brunavane? He must have gone off at some stage because he did 28 last time around, but he's dropped all the way to the back of the pack on his mediums, where he was 7th or 8th just now. So we've got a nice battle with Ron and Ghost Killer at the moment for 2nd and 3rd. Yeah, I find the nice thing about what I like about GR4 is you have close races, but unfortunately if you're one of the guys like me tonight where you lose 10 seconds early on, you're just not going to catch up to the pack.
Oh yes.
Especially on a track like this where they're slipstreaming down, you catch up half a second on the lap and you hit the straights and they take it all back again. S&P joining the battle there for 2nd and 3rd. How's it, Ken, in the comments?
Good evening, Mum Kendall.
Yeah, I thought at one stage I was going to at least get to battle Ken a bit, but he came out on hards and I was on my cooked mediums. So I closed from about 3 seconds to 1 second, but then he pulled the gap again. And he had fueled more than me, so when we pitted he came out way up the road, both for softs at the end. It's nice driving, Ken. I expect to see Ken going to pool 1, not 8th, 9th, 10th places. Who we got now on the softs? So 2nd to 8th place, so all on softs. 8th place, Henny's the next medium runner behind Levi. And then Fluffy Butt's the first hard runner right behind Henny, 1.2 seconds.
So Fluffy is definitely going to have a bit of an advantage over the other guys as soon as he switches to this faster compounds.
Well, they've seemed to have sorted themselves out now. There wasn't too much battling. So that right behind Kalen and Stignator are battling. Kalen on soft, Stignator both on medium, sorry. Stignator just jumping around a little bit laggy there, possibly with my connection, not actually on the track though. Enjoying the liveries tonight, lots of great pace. Adam's got his own custom one. I think most of the teams have done something different because we don't normally use this car. And it's a Citroen festival, so shout out to...
I can't recall that we've ever raced with this car before.
Well, it's been very popular lately in the dailies because of its tyre saving abilities, but I've never used it. I don't even have a livery for mine. It's probably why I didn't end up doing well, because I never race without my own liveries, and I just downloaded one quickly tonight. So that's what happens when you cheat your liveries, hey Trivs. Ken, if it's a good combo, I want to see a 10 vote tomorrow. Ghost Killer closing in on Levi, but
yes,
obviously on the softer tyre. S&P's got past Richard and Ron now 5th place. Chris on the softs as well, he is 7 seconds off the lead. He's got Hollywood catching him, but this uphill corner, I don't know who I was battling with at the end. I actually can't remember, but whoever it was in a yellow Megane and they had their indicator on, so whenever I got close, I overtook them. I thought they were moving out the way because they were braking quite early, and I think they were probably on the hard or medium tyre. And then I ran wide, let them back through, and then the next time I went to go past, they didn't brake as early, so I nudged them, and that's when my race ended. Because I let them back.
I noticed now when you switched between Hollywood and Chris is actually doing an amazing job with his tyre wear on that Megane.
Yeah,
it's actually a little bit better than what Hollywood's got going on currently.
Hollywood was further back, so he's been pushing. Let's see what Chris, better than Ron, about the same as Richard, definitely better than S&P. You can see all the guys are pushing hard to get through the pack. So they're running 25s. Chris is running high 25s, a 27 and a 26. 25.4 last time around, so mid 25. So you might get an extra couple laps on his tyres when they switch to the mediums or hards. Where's our first medium runner? Henny still in 8th place, 11 seconds off Levi after 6 laps, but second place of the medium runners. We've obviously had some hard guys possibly going into. Has anyone gone into pits yet? No, Fluffy's still out there. I think he was only hard starter. I think Chris is a fan, guys. What do you guys think?
Definitely. He also has a team now.
Let's go, Chris. Yeah, so the Ghost Killer Levi battle stabled out, got stable at about 1 second. I think because obviously Levi's mediums are still good and Ghost Killer's softs are getting tired, but they're dropping off to a similar pace as the mediums. S&P, he's going to start battling shortly on those tyres. Richard's right behind him. Ron not too far back. Melos, you're so amazing, we know, but you don't race with us because you're too PC orientated these days. So that's your second to fourth battle, all nice and close. With Chris 3 seconds behind them and right ahead of Hollywood, having a nice little battle on the softs. I don't think Hollywood's going to... What would you say the optimum strategy is here? Obviously run your softs as long as possible with it. 8-9 laps on them?
The optimal strat is don't use all 3 tires.
Well,
So our lobby was a bit weird. So it was one of those lobbies where you could get something like 11 or 12 laps on the softs, and all through practice you barely got 10.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened there.
I couldn't get 9 on softs.
I think that was just your PlayStation. You had one of those special sets from Michelin, special racing tire. Because
no,
mine felt the same as normal.
Bumping going on. And I was on for a 3rd or 4th place, and yeah, something happened along the line.
I just realized I made a mistake after I spun at the end of the race. I just parked and waited for the last lap and then drove over the line, but I just realized that we said we're giving a minute penalty to anyone who didn't use all 3 tires for 5 laps. So I should have probably just finished, and then if someone had a penalty, only needed 4 guys to get a penalty and I'd still be safe.
I reckon everybody used the tires.
I also
for 5
think
laps.
So. I don't think it would have been possible to not use it for 5 laps.
Yeah, but mainly you just had to make sure you use the hards for 5, because you had to use softs and mediums for
would be
pace.
strange if you do 1 lap on the softs.
Yeah.
You can, but it's not recommended.
Correct. Yeah, DC we get to play together next week, which is great. I'm tired of racing mid-pack with these fast Stokes. We're just following the guys. Signator sitting right behind OJ, sitting behind Kalen. Oh, we got someone... Looked like someone had a bit of a spin at the back there. Was it just Steel? No. Must have been Fluffy, but possibly. Yeah.
DC can't race. He's checking over his 35 dogs he's got now.
35, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone want a puppy? Contact DC Gaming. So it's a good sponsors punt while you're at it. We just run through the field. Shout out to Track Art and TGN Racing Simulators, our long-term sponsors, always keeping the guys supplied with Track Art and race room vouchers. If you need a rig or anything, go see them. And then Rhino Utilities, Sanine, they electricians, solar installers. We also have... Who else do we have, guys? You can each... Who wants a car? Because I believe there's a Chery and a Ford dealership somewhere that sponsored us this season. And I'm not saying the town. Come on, we've got some Afrikaans guys here. How do you say that funny P word?
Is it Palaborva?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry, pulling your legs there. So we got Ford and Cherry Parabora that sponsored us. Some nice prize vouchers. We had Rhino Utilities, like I said, and then also Mayfair Gearbox. Shout out to the Mayfair guys in KZN. And just for DC, Right Recruitment, also shout out to DC's mom, keeping the country employed. We got S&P first of the soft runners at the front to pit. He's made it onto start of lap 9. Chris disappeared. No, Chris didn't disappear. Chris is still there.
If you see the comment I wrote there.
I did see someone disconnected or no. So fastest lap so far was Ruan on a 25.0. DC Levi is currently on a fast first sector. Ghost Killer's dropped 1.7 behind. He's got Richard right behind him. Another 1.3 to Ruan. Chris still 3.6 back. Hollywood's dropped back a bit off. He was right on Chris. Now he's 4.7 behind. That's a tyre issue. You can see he's got no left front left. It's kind of how my tyres looked on lap 9. Well, so if I was Hollywood, I'd be boxing now because he did 28 last time around. Henny on the mediums, he's going strong in 7th now. Kalen on mediums, 8th place. OJ softs, 9th. Stignator mediums, 10th. Brunavane, I don't know if he pitted or it was just I think it was just a run-off or accident. He's 11th. We've got Ghost Killer pitting. You can see at the top of the screen. Yeah, Steel 12th on the mediums. S&P's now on hards. He pitted this lap, and Fluffy Butt has pitted a lap or 3 laps ago. He's on the mediums now. Some good pace, 25.9 last time around. Yeah, I don't think we'll see Levi pitting for a couple more laps. He's now 3.2 ahead of Richard after Ghost Killer boxed. Chris is up to 3rd. Running softs, 8.4 off the lead. Henny's now the 2nd best medium runner. He's in 4th place, followed by Kalen. Nice little group there. Kalen, Henny, Kalen, Stignator. And then Brunavane not too far behind. He had a rough couple opening laps on those softs from 2nd on the grid. What do you think, Donnie? Who's on the podium here?
I think we're definitely gonna see Levi. We're gonna see Ghost Killer. And then 3rd I can't call, it's too close. Who's going to get 3rd?
I think it's one of the guys that were on mediums now, maybe Kalen or Henny, even Brunavane.
Even Fluffy Butt on the hards.
Yeah, Fluffy's
because at the end of the race the hards are quite slow.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see once everyone's on their last stint where the positions are. Also nice about a must use all 3 compound race. So Richard and Chris pit. Now it's medium runners in the first 4 places. 5 places are all non-pitters so far. Steel now up to 6. He hasn't pitted, but he just got a half-second penalty, and then he's got the first of the pitters, Ghost Killer, making a move on him into turn 1. It looks like, and he goes through nice and safely.
If we just do the commentator's curse, the penalty.
Yeah, he had it when I got to him. I think he must have run that little chicane just before you hit the start-finish line. Always gets the guys. Chris is now 8th, obviously having pitted. Richard pitted the lap after. He's been undercut. Same with S&P Pro. So Chris has jumped both of them currently, but he'll have... S&P's gone for the hards. Richard's gone for the mediums. Chris is on the hards. So it'll be interesting. We should have Richard catching Chris quite quickly, but he'll have to put the hards on right at the end. Ron, who pitted 2 laps ago, he's also on the hards now. Loving that livery. SBR guys, whoever makes your livery, shout out there. He's on the hards. He's got Hollywood right with him on the hards, and OJ not too far back. So we know one person who's always good on tyres is Stignator. He has just had an accident, I think. Yeah. So he was right behind Kalen. He's let Henny through, and he's got Brunavane coming through on him. He's a little bit of damage on the front end. These guys are running their mediums all the way to lap 14, 15, I think. Yeah, Kendall saying the Renault works, so shout out to all the non-Citroen drivers for taking a chance on something different. We had a Bugatti in pool too. I don't want to fight with him too much because I knew that I had to still pit, but that thing's quick on the straights.
Yes, you can't get past it at all.
Yeah, I passed about 3 times into the corners, but then I eventually decided to let him go because we were holding each other up, and I knew he was on better tyres. But man, that thing comes past you on the straight like you're looking for parking, even in the Citroen. We see S&P currently in 10th place. He's pitted. Ron's behind him, who's pitted. Hollywood pitted 12th. And we've got Levi now coming in. Kalen and Brunavane going through. And Stignator. So we've still got 3 drivers out there that haven't pitted. They're going to go for lap 14. Kalen's got enough petrol. He could probably do another 3-4 laps if he wanted. Stignator's pretty good on fuel and tyres. Brunavane's front tyres a bit cooked, but he could make another lap. Currently with Kalen leading by 3.2 from Brunavane, half a second from Stignator, and then Ghost Killer's now jumped into the lead after that pit stop. He's on the hards, but he is about 3 seconds ahead of Levi, I think. Levi those fueled I think to the end, and Ghost Killer just fueled for the stint. So it's not quite representative, but it does look good for the moment, a bit closer. Right now Yastiel's ahead of Levi, so we can have some pace into team tactics here. Minister of Defence, but Yastiel probably wouldn't interfere. He'll just fight as if it was any other driver, including his teammates. Kalen
He's
goes
most
in.
likely gonna pit anyway now.
Now Stignator goes through. Yastiel's going through. Levi does a little dance as he comes past him, but he's got all the grip and takes 3rd place. Once Stignator pits, will be 2nd on the road, closing in on Ghost Killer, and Ghost Killer is going to have to put a lot more fuel in when he pits for his softs shortly. We'll just go through and see where this shakes out to. We've got some battling here with S&P and Ron. Background we've got Hollywood and Chris. Hollywood's now in front of Chris. Chris on hards, Hollywood on hards. How do you guys enjoy this track?
It's a nice track to drive. It's not too bad.
Always one of my favorites to drive. I'm not particularly fast on it or anything. I just enjoy the gradient changes and it flows nicely. I hate the A version. It's just straight kink. The C version's nice for short sprint races, like we did that time with the Group B cars, I think it was. So Stignator's coming in. Ghost Killer's coming in as well to get rid of his hards. Levi takes the lead back. He's 5 seconds ahead of Richard.
Ghost Killer's going to do 15 laps on the mediums.
Stignator's just done 15 on them, so Ghost Killer also won't have a 100% full tank. It'll be just a fraction below, I think. So I don't know if Ghost Killer the first person to complete all their pit stops. He is all the way down now. I don't know if Kalen is because he's in 10th. No, I don't think so yet. Ghost Killer, OJ is pitting as well. I think they're the only two that have completed the pit stops. Ghost Killer's 35 off the lead, and you use about 25 to 30 seconds in the pits. OJ comes out, he's gone onto the mediums, same with Ghost Killer. We'll probably have another 3-4 laps.
I wonder if anybody's gonna try a 3-stopper.
It was a bit early. Go Chris in the comments again. 21 other people, what are you up to? Who are you supporting? Shout out your driver. Chris is getting all the attention here, so we need to even things up a bit. S&P pits off his hard, so he's also completed his pit stops now, so we'll be seeing that battle for second at the moment. It was with Ghost Killer, S&P, Chris, Ron, who else? I think that was it. So out of that battle for second place that we saw earlier, it's now S&P and Ghost Killer who've pitted. Ghost Killer goes through into what will be provisional second. S&P's putting a lot of fuel in there. He's on the mediums and he's going out to do a 14 lap stint. A bit of a gap here, 6 seconds Levi to Richard, Richard to Ron, 9 seconds, Hollywood 1.7 behind, Chris 1.3 behind Hollywood. Looks like these guys will be pitting soon, both have their fuel lights flashing. Fluffy Butt is all the way up to 6th place now. He's done, how many pit stops does he still need to do? He's on his mediums now, he started on hard, so he'll probably pit in 3 laps or so. It's time to put on the softs till the end. Levi still has to put on softs, I think.
No, he is currently on the softs.
Oh, so, hards, I mean, sorry.
Yes, he has to
So
go onto the hards.
he has to do
yes.
5 laps on hards. I don't think that will make a 20-second difference, but we've got Ron, Hollywood and Chris in to get rid of their hards now. Fuel for the last 12 laps, 13 laps on mediums. Brannovan's going through, he's still on his hards. 24.6 from Levi last time around on his softs, absolutely flying. I don't know if you guys have, one of you got your background music on? I turned mine off last week and it was off, but then just after the race started it came back on. Actually just remembered now, I can hear it there. The menu music, why I don't know. So apologies to the guys for that. A little bit of the background tune, it just comes on by itself. Venom is currently in second. MotoGP we had Batmav and we've got Richard Venom in second in GTSA. So let's see, one guy's Stignator's done his mediums, he's on softs now. He'll still have to pit for hards at the end. He's currently looking to get past Brandon who's on the hards.
The interesting thing about this race and the different strategies is you don't know the final positions of everyone until the last 5 laps of the race.
Yeah, then you get a fair idea. So Stignator looking around the outside of Brandon into turn 1, softs versus hard. Nice clean racing between the two of them. KLM Pace currently on the hards, so he's just behind in 6th place. What would you rather be on, in track position on softs at the end, or track position and hards, or catching up and on softs?
No, I'll take the tyre advantage
at the end and have to try and make
Yes.
up the time.
Yeah.
I'm just going through looking for some battles. we've got groups, but it's like little clusters of guys on similar strategy at the moment. They're not fighting, they're sitting in within 1 second, 2 seconds of each other. So we should have a big battle at the end. Like here we've got S&P and Ron in 10th and 11th, but they've completed their pit stops, I think. And they're on mediums till the end. So same as Ghost Killer Pace, who's pulled quite a gap. He's 13 seconds. Yeah, Fluffy's pitting. He's got 11 laps to go, and he's already going to throw the softs on till the end. We've got Brunavane getting rid of the hards. KLM Pace getting rid of the hards. They're all going to be putting softs for 11 laps, so it's going to be a...
So the guys running 14, 15 laps on the mediums are going to suffer those last 2-3 laps. Because the medium it's like it falls off a cliff in terms of grip.
We have Ghost Killer going past your steel again. You're still on the hards. He's going to probably box on the next lap. Look at his fuel. Ghost Killer's on till the end. So if we look at the front, Levi has to pit for hards. He's got a 10-second gap from Richard, who also has to pit, and Stignator, who also has to pit. Then Henny, I think, he was on mediums. He's now on hards, so he's going to put softs to the end shortly. Ghost Killer's pitted and he's done for the race. Steel needs to pit for softs. S&P's done till the end, same with Ron, Kalen, Fluffy Butt, Hollywood, Chris. Everyone else from there back, they've completed their stops. So we'll see, for example, Ghost Killer, he's 41 seconds behind Levi, but Levi's going to lose 25 to 30 seconds in the pits. So he should be safe, but Richard, who's in second, and Stignator, who's in third, they're going to be dropping places when they do come in. And we have Henny in now. So yeah. Fantastic Citroen, Trackart and TGN Racing teams pit crew at work. And he's out, and he's just going to fuel and be back on track in the meantime. Ride on board with some of the other guys. Hollywood's attacking Chris, 9th and 10th. Hollywood now on mediums, Chris on mediums. DC saying his softs lasted 9 laps, but he could still do another 3. My softs lasted 7 laps, but I could do another 3 without the time dropping too bad with no right front. I need some of those special tyres that RBS had. Where do you order those from?
Luck of the draw.
the dead ones.
The ones that last 12 laps that you said earlier.
Yep.
So, our front 3 haven't pitted yet. They should be coming in not too long. Obviously Levi, he's going to wait for the last 5 laps. Richard also will wait for the last 5 laps, same with Stignator, to put their hards on. Ghost Killer, he's the first. Everyone, I think, back from Ghost Killer's completed their stops now. Just looking at the back here, Steel now in last place. Not sure. He's on the softs, pitted last time around. He's 1.6 behind Henny, who's 6 seconds behind Brunavane. They're all on softs though, so it's going to be a bit of a battle for your Steel to get through. Hollywood's just had an incident on his mediums. He drops to 12th. That's going to be hard to come back from as well because of the tyre difference, although he might have better mediums when the other guy's softs are dying at the end. Brunavane's on softs, OJ's on mediums, he's in 10th with Brunavane closing in on him. Chris is now on mediums, 9th place. Fluffy Butts in 8th, having completed all his stops on the softs. He's 1.8 behind Kalen, who's on softs. Got a big battle here. The guys that were fighting for the top 3 earlier. Kalen, Ron, S&P, who's on mediums, Ghost Killer's on mediums. We're going to have Stignator, Richard and Levi probably pitting in 3 laps time. That will shuffle the pack up, but I think we've got Ghost Killer currently most likely in P2, but then S&P, Ron, Kalen and Richard up front are all going to be out fairly similar in 3rd place.
Yes, I think that's going to be a close battle towards the end.
But yeah, it's not the first time she said yes, Chris, like that. I'm sure I read it earlier. Chris is currently in 9th, 1 minute and 4 seconds, so we're going to lose about 30 of that for the pit stops. There's about 30 seconds off the lead, 35 seconds, 2.4 ahead of OJ and 5.7 behind Fluffy. And Levi comes in on his softs already. He needed fuel and the front right was a bit tired. Surprised that he's going to do extra couple laps on the hards. But he does have a gap, so if he loses 2 seconds a lap for 2 extra laps, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Because he should still come out ahead of Stignator, who's in 3rd place currently. Puts the hards on and he's coming out currently still in P2, which he'll go back to 1 when Richard puts in the next lap or 2. Stignator currently P3, Ghost Killer 2nd place of everyone who stopped twice. Loving the pace delivery there from Trivs, I think did that one, not 100% sure, but pace delivery is always good. Red and black, with all the little touches, you actually have to see that in the light. Without the shadows, we've got a nice battle with Ron and Fluffy Butt. Fluffy Butt's picked up a penalty, but he does have the tyre advantage and he goes past Ron. It's going to hurt him next time around when he hits the start-finish line.
Oh yes, this penalty line is in a very awkward position.
Yeah, right before the longest straight in the game.
Yes.
Not quite the game, but we've got 6 laps to go. Chris is in 9th, OJ 10th. He's having a good little battle with Brunnervan. Brunnervan on softs, OJ on mediums. Hollywood after his trip on mediums dropped back a bit. He's getting caught by Henny and Yastil, who are on the softs. They're having a nice little battle together. C8 Henny sitting in the fastest first sector of the race there. Yeah, Melissa Renault is smiling. It's because it doesn't know it's a car and it's a pixel in the game. I think the Renault wasn't too much different.
It wasn't too far off in terms of pace either. Maybe tyre were a little bit of a disadvantage. But the main reason a lot of guys are using the Megane is because they're racing in VR and they cannot see out of the Citroen.
Yeah, that's what I think Chris said to me as well. So Richard is probably about to come into the pits, more than likely, otherwise he might run out on the lap, and he has to do 5 laps on the hard tyres anyway, so we'll have Richard pitting, Stignator pitting, and then we'll see what the order is. In he comes. Shout out to all the guys in the chat that aren't chatting too much. Let us know how your race went. I've seen Marco saying the Citroen is like looking through a hose pipe in VR. Said low roof line. Levi takes the lead back. Stignator goes through, so Stignator's on soft still. Did he already do all his stops? I don't think so. So he's probably going to swear at us later for not reading properly.
Did he do his hard stint?
I don't think so. I
also don't think so.
I thought he started on medium, so he might have done 1 lap on hards and pitted. Who knows? Yeah, Ken's saying that the Renault's tyres were a little bit worse, but turned tighter and better. Yeah, I don't know if Stignator remembers the 5 lap rule that we put in. We did say it on Discord, and I'm not sure if the host said it in the lobby because I rejoined right at the end, but Richard currently came out just ahead of Ghost Killer, 3 seconds. He's on the hards, Ghost Killer's on the medium, so there's 5 laps to go. That's still battle on. Kalen's 12 seconds back, so not sure. The guys dropped quite far. Kalen 5th, S&P not too far behind him. He's having a good battle with Fluffy Butt for 6th and 7th. Fluffy Butt on the softs and S&P on the mediums. S&P, Fluffy goes up the inside and S&P looks on the outside for the cutback but doesn't get it done. Fluffy through to P6. I think the only problem, Fluffy's on the same strategy I was doing, and the only problem is at this point of the race when you're trying to make those last places, you get held up quite a lot by the guys on mediums, even hards even worse, so you lose quite a bit of time. I think the similar stint to what Levi did, start on mediums, then when there's space run the softs and then just finish the hards at the end. S&P coming back with the slipstream down the straight. Fluffy's got the grip though and he can break into the first turn and hold the position. S&P still fighting, looks up the inside. He's actually should have the place back there. Fluffy running a bit wide, that front right tire starting to die. He holds it around the outside, chops the nose off. So nice racing between these two, let's call them veterans of GTSA. Been around a long time and they know how to keep it clean. While that's happening, Kalen's pulled a little bit of a gap, so it's going to make Fluffy work hard if he wants that 5th place. It's now 3 seconds. We had about a lap of those two riding side by side almost. Chris is in 8th place. He's 6 seconds behind S&P, 3 seconds ahead of 2.3 ahead of Brunnervane. Stignator goes in on his softs, but I don't think he...
Let's see what he's coming out on. If he's coming out on hards, I think he forgot about the hards.
Yeah. No, you definitely messed that one up. Probably not going to be happy. He's got 4 laps to do. Or 3 laps. 28, 29, 30 here. So out he comes on hards, but that's going to be all the way to the back, I think. So order, Levi 11 seconds from Richard. Ghost Killer's not really catching, his mediums are getting quite tired there. 3 seconds back. Kalen 4th. Good drive by Kalen.
What happened to Ruan? He dropped off completely.
Yeah, I think he got stuck in traffic and might have made a mistake trying to get through it. Because he was with S&P sort of pace, and Chris, where's he now? He's in 14th. So he did a 143 on lap 26. We'll have to see. It's on mediums. Hollywood on mediums. Yeah, still another penalty. 12th place chasing Henny still. So Henny holding that P11 that everyone wants at the back, because you don't want to be 12th, 13th, 14th. OJ 10th. Got a little bit of breathing room either side of him, so he should be safe. He's on mediums though, so he might just be under threat from Henny and Yestiod at the end, but I think their softs are past their best now. Brunnervane in 9th. Chris on the mediums, he's 4 seconds behind Stignator. We'll still have to see what happened there. S&P Pro 6th place, he's on the mediums. Fluffy Butt lost the second on Kalen, who's also on softs. So I think that's your top 5 are pretty much sorted now.
Kendall makes a good point. KLM definitely did a good comeback from where he started.
Yeah, I was starting to say that just now, and then we looked at something else. I think Kalen was on mediums at the start, but he didn't. I don't know if it was in a good qualifying or he had to fight through the pack and lots of traffic. He was behind Stignator for quite a while on the similar tyres. So he's done a great job. Shout out to Richard, also has come from, he wasn't in the race early on, but he was mid-pack. Ghost Killer was fighting Levi at the start for second with, who was it? It was Ron, S&P and Chris. So Richard managed to come from quite far back as well. Last lap he's 11 seconds off Levi, but he's still 2.4 ahead of Ghost Killer, who hasn't been able to catch him on the hards too quickly. Because you can see Ghost Killer's mediums are pretty toasted. Jacques from Rhino Utilities, shout out there. Whose car were we looking at with the Rhino on? I think quite a few of them have it, but I did see a couple.
No, Richard did very well on this race to come back from where he was.
Yeah, Chris with the Rhino utility on the bonnet, track art on the sides. We've got Brennevane, OJ, Henny, Yasteel, Ron, and Hollywood's had an issue, dropped all the way to the back. So here comes Levi, take a 12-second win. Great comeback from Ron. You actually just need to make sure, though, if you want to challenge Levi, that you get on the front of the grid if you've got pace like Richard had.
Yes.
Because if you're not at the front, you're going to get held up in that 11-second difference. Richard comes second. Ghost Killer almost caught him in third. Ghost Killer was up front, but at the start, guys like Brennevane, he had to fight to get past Brennevane, and there was someone else that was on mediums. Good comeback by Kalen and Fluffy Butt. They went with the slow at the start, medium and hard, with the faster tyres at the end. S&P takes 6th, Stignator takes provisional 7th, but I think that's not going to be long. So Chris in 8th, Brennevane 9th, OJ 10th. And shout out to you guys for the evening. The fastest lap was a 24.5 from Levi. That was midway through his soft stints of flying. I don't feel too bad though, because I did, even though I came last in my pool, I did 25.2, I think it was. Richard 25.3, 25.1 from Ghost Killer, 24.9 by Kalen, 24.5 by Fluffy. He was a fraction off, so Fluffy was flying at the end there. S&P 25.1, all within half a second or so. See the guys to the back. 25s for pretty much everyone. The driver of the day, Fluffy. I'll give Fluffy a nod, Kalen and Levi. But
I'm gonna have to give my vote to Richard. He did extremely well.
Yeah, Richard as well. Sorry, I was reading on the list on the side here and I didn't see Richard. Yeah, Richard definitely would be in there. So yeah, I'll put Richard first for his comeback, then Levi for the domination second, and I'll tie Kalen and Fluffy in third for their comebacks.
I see Kendall is waiting for a late reveal for next week.
It is a late reveal. I just want to know what dumb car Steven is going to choose for us on what instead.
I don't even know. After tonight I'm going to make it really rough, because I want Uncle Ken to love me. So why won't you give me attention, Ken? You either crash when I'm in front of you or I crash when I'm behind you.
I need to move up before Spa.
Oh, I think I'm going to retire before Spa, and I'm just going to make it like the craziest weather ever.
Yes, please. Or 8 all the way. I want a rematch in the wet.
So you can spin off again.
Okay. So yeah, just one final thing, a shout out to the hosts for tonight and every other week. You guys, without the hosts we can't race, and a lot of people give them a hard time.
Except for Pool 2.
Except for Pool 2, you know, Pool 2 host is rubbish.
Every week.
That guy stopped the race when I went from 6th to 4th, and then on the restart I went from 6th to 10th. Next week, race 7 is Watkins Glen, 1 make, late reveal. Ken? So I'll look for something like that jet car or the fan car or something terrible. Mr. Signator, well done on your race, but why did you only do 3 laps on hards? Yeah, shout out guys. Have a great evening. Shout out to sponsors Track Art, TGN, Rhino Utilities, Ford and Cherry Parabora, or however you say it. It's a place with a funny PH name.
Parabora.
Yeah, that one. And who's the one I'm missing? Mayfair Gearbox, and then Right Recruitment. So next season I just want one sponsor with like a big prize, make my life easier.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.